We are on day 5 of 60 days of copy. Before we begin our breakdown, as always, make sure you join this group. Join the Copywriting Hacks group, how to write copy and influence people. This is the group that put me on the 60-day challenge, so it's a lot of fun. And then if you're a Black copywriter, make sure you join the Black Copywriter Coalition. This is also here as well. We're rooting for everyone, but we're also rooting for everyone Black, so that's why we want you to join the Black Copywriter Coalition. Secure the bag. We're trying to support everyone, show love to all the Black copywriters out there, but, also love to everyone. But, we also want to rep for our people. So, all right. So let's begin. We're straight to the copywriting hat. So we already know we have to look at the headline, but when we got this sales letter, there was no headline. It's just called the Admiral Byrd Society sales letter. So no headline. So we're just going to move on to the next checklist. I'm going to skip all that. Okay. So that's not it. Get rid of this. Okay. So rule of 1. Does the headline, okay, that doesn't apply. Can the concept of the copy big idea be summed up clearly in one sentence and relate with clarity to the stranger? So when I read this sales letter, the whole big idea behind this, the whole big idea was cement yourself in history and travel the world. That is the whole big idea with the Admiral Byrd sales letter. It's all about cement yourself in history, travel the world, but be a part of history by traveling the world. Yeah. Become a part of history by traveling the world. So that is the one sentence summary for this big idea. I'll also put a link in the description so you can read it yourself. And now we're also looking at the awareness. Is the approach of the copy direct or the indirect? It's definitely indirect because, as far as I know, it's indirect from the person. They aren't aware that they want to travel. Maybe, like I said, it depends. It's direct for the person who wants to travel, who's looking for new experiences. The person who wants to go on an expedition. It's also indirect to the person who maybe doesn't know that they want to travel, but maybe this is something that they're looking for. They've been working their job, it's kind of stressful. So like I said, it goes both ways. It depends. What lead is being used? I think right from the bat, this is an offer invitation lead, and you can see it right here. Right? So, as chairman of the Admiral Richard E. Byrd Polo Center, it is my privilege to invite you to become a member of an expedition which is destined to make both news and history. Right? Right there. Offer invitation right there. I'm inviting you to come on this trip. No. Boom. Is a problem that your product service solves easily identified? Yeah. Because he goes on to tell you, from my perspective, he goes on to tell you that it will cost you $10,000 in about 26 days. But when you go all the way down to the bottom, right, the price of $10,000 includes food and beverages, all accommodations, the best available under all circumstances, transportation, special clothing, insurance, side excursions, virtually everything except for your travel to and from Boston. When people are paying for expeditions or excursions, most of the time, nothing is all included. Like, you have to pay for your own food, you have to pay for your own flights to get there. But this expedition is taking you from different countries, from Senegal to Italy, Rome, Antarctica. This place is taking you basically all over the world, and for $10,000, that is a steal. An all-inclusive, I think that's the problem it solves. An all-inclusive expedition for $10,000. Everything you need. Just pay $10,000. Pay for your flight to get to Boston pay for your flight to get to Boston from where the trip is leaving, and that's it. That is a great deal. I think that's to go to 10 plus countries. Yeah, that's insane. more than five, like more than 6 countries. So, an all-inclusive, all of these things. Does the copy poke at the reader's pain points? Um, the pain points of like not being remembered, just being average, because all of these things that it's mentioning, right? It's like you meet you meet ambassadors, you meet all these people, you have a camera filming your trip. Um, you know, people don't want to be average. People travel, but they travel because they don't want to be average. They don't want to be stuck in the same place. So he doesn't really twist that knife, but all of these things is like, wow, I get to meet all these cool people. I get to go to all these cool places, and I get to be filmed on this expedition, and I get to be interviewed. People ask for my opinion while I'm on this trip, while I'm standing with like political figures and all that stuff. That's exciting because I will not be average. So it definitely doesn't agitate, but it definitely it leaves a pain point of like, you will not be average. This is where you're going to like. That's what it agitates. Like, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, solution. Does the copy identify clearly that there is a solution to the reader's problem and that you are the person capable of helping them solve their problem? Yeah. Again, this guy knows his stuff, right? Once he goes, he's telling you about all these places that you're going to visit. So look at the subheads, right? Tool, Greenland, North Pole, Anchorage, Alaska, Tokyo, Japan, Manila, Philippines, Darwin, Australia, Sydney, Australia, Christchurch, New Zealand, McMurdo Sound, Antarctica, South Pole, Punta Arenas, Chile, Rio de like Dakar, Senegal, Rome, Italy, London, England. Like, these are all the places you're going for just $10,000, right? So, does the copy clearly identify there's a solution to the reader's problem? Like, and it's all inclusive. And on top of that, this person knows his stuff. He's describing all these places. He knows about everything. It's like he's been there to all of these places himself, right? So definitely very, very strong problem, agitate, solution. Okay, moving on to the Clayton Makepeace Big Four. Does your headline? No, we're not. We're gonna move on. We're not going to talk about anything with the headline because it doesn't really, this is just straight to the point. Does the copy establish credibility? Yeah, like I said, look at how he describes his places, or like, this is a long sales letter, but they're just instances where it sounds like he's been there and he knows what he's talking about, right? Like, for example, to Greenland, far above the Arctic Circle, past the chill reaches of Baffin Bay, lies desolate to the northernmost U.S. air base, almost 400 miles further north than the northern tip, Alaska. Sewell was originally served as a possible military site by Admiral Byrd and Commander Dustin. Here, in this deepening Arctic winter, you will get your first taste of the rigors of polar existence, right? And there are so many descriptions where you can find, like, he's talking about bone chilling. I don't know. Let me try and find a description of imagery for you guys. Let's see. I promise I read this. It's just, I guess next thing I should note down these things. Where is the imagery? Okay, the legendary picture, a wall marker in Manila, hunting for duck, deer, wild boar, essential species of water, buffalo, like, these are all the things you'd be hunting, and like wild boar, deer, species, the imagery is there. This guy knows what he's talking about. It sounds like he's been to those places himself. So yes, it does establish some type of credibility, and he's part of the, that traveling association, the Admiral Byrd, whatever, So, what does a copy do to prove to the reader that you are a credible person of authority who should be paid attention to? The fact that he's aligned with this organization, right? He's aligned with the Admiral Byrd Society sales letter. And then he says, as chairman of the Admiral Richard E. Byrd Polar Center, he's the chairman. So exactly, this is coming from the chairman. So already lends to his credibility and authority. So let's move on. Does the copy offer a bribe? Is there a bribe in place to convince the reader that they must read on? I think we found it right here. Because this expedition has an interest in supporting the metro world. No words. Where is this bribe? God fucking damn it. Okay, yeah, there we go. Sorry, that took a while. Before I continue with the details of the expedition, let me tell you more about the Bowler Pair Center and the reasoning which has led to its establishment this summer. So the bribe is all here. He's talking about your biography will be recorded in the center's archives, available to future historians, the log, photographs, and memorabilia, blah, blah, blah. By agreeing to enjoy this expedition, you will, in a sense, establish yourself in history too. But before I tell you about all of you, like, establishing yourself in history, let me tell you more about this. It's kind of like, stay tuned. That is the bribe, right? Is the offer promised new? I think this is like new in the sense that this is to visit all these countries, $10,000, all inclusive, be documented into be history, recorded into history, be taped, all that. That is crazy. So it's new, it's unique, it's safe to invest in, because when we come down to the end, where to reserve your place in the expedition, just drop me a note on your letterhead or personal stationery with deposit check of $2,500 made out to the United States company. Incidentally, if anything prevents your leaving as planned, you can send another in place. Otherwise, cancellations cannot be accepted later than 30 days before departure. So yeah, you have 30 days to cancel once you send your deposit and all that. So it's safe to the investment. Is the offer promise easy to use, implement? Yes. Most traveling agencies can implement this offer. It costs as much. Everything is all inclusive. You have 30 days. Once you make your deposit, you have 30 days to pull out and all that. So easy to use, easy to implement. It's kind of simple. Is a promise fast to deliver results? Yeah, once you pay your $10,000, you are going to be on your once you pay your deposit, everything is going to be inclusive, and then so you're going to go to all these countries. So that's kind of unique. Is the offer promise providing results that are predictable? Yeah, sort of predictable. Pay your money, go on all of these trips. Is the offer promise providing something big? It's huge. I think it's actually wow that you get to go to all these countries. They are, how many countries are you going to? Right? Look at this. This is wild. This is actually an insane sales letter. 1, 2, all these places here going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 places. That's less than $2,000 per trip. It's crazy. It's crazy. Not a bad deal. Everything is included. That is crazy. I would pay for that trip. Hell yeah. So it's definitely unique. And on top of that, you get to meet all these politicians, you get to be documented into history. So you're not just going on a trip, but you're also being like carved into history, because people will interview you, people want to hear about your thoughts and your experiences. That's what the trip is also offering as well. So that's pretty huge. Pretty huge. The 8 useful components hidden in your copy. Does a copy provide proof for every promise and claim made? Yeah. The fact that he knows his stuff, and that he's the chairman of this like society, and he mentions all these names of like the people that you're going to meet, the ambassadors and all that stuff. And the fact that he knows the locations and longitudinal like locations as well, it shows that he has some authority and some authority and credibility. Does the copy use picture words to provide a snapshot of the reader in the future benefiting from having bought and used your product and service? Yeah. Even just look at the PS. We have just made professional arrangements for a professional camera crew to accompany the flight, and as a result, we will be able to provide you with a short film clip and sound tape of your experiences. That's just one, like being, oh wow, I'm getting paid and I'm also being documented. You know, it's just full of so many pictures of what you do. The expedition will be led by Commander Fergie Dustin, veteran of 6 polar expeditions, advisor to the Admiral Board. So, like, you're just going to be surrounded by people who've traveled, who are experts and like generals and all that stuff. So, yeah, it just paints the picture of like you are an adventurer, you're part of history. So that it does a good job of that. Okay. Also, can you identify when exactly when the offer is being made? It even comes right at the beginning, like, because he's not bullshitting. He knows it's expensive, so in a sense, the offer coming in at the beginning, right at the beginning, it will cost you $10,000 in about 26 days of your time. The reason why the offer is coming, because this is a huge, like, big ticket item, right? So it's meant to qualify people. Someone will see this, it will cost you $10,000, will be like, nope, like, I can't afford that. Why am I reading this? Dumb. Someone's going to read this, it will cost you $10,000. $10,000. And then he's like, okay, what am I getting for this $10,000? And he's going to keep reading on. Like, why does it keep? And that's why it's a long sales copy. Whenever you're selling big ticket items like this, for $10,000, you're going to need a lot of long copy, because you need to explain and justify that price point, okay, in the sales letter. So this is to qualify people. It's going to repel the people who can't afford it, and then intrigue the people who have the money to spend it, but they want to know what they're getting for this, okay? So this is why long copy, this is why like the copy is that long, and the subheads, this is where you're going. 15 countries, all inclusive, surrounded by important people, historians, generals, all that stuff, So it's not just a trip; it's an adventure, and an adventure to be remembered, to be steeped in history. So that's when the offer like comes in. So, and that's why it's so early, because it just wants to get right to the point. It doesn't want to be sneaky or bullshit people. So I like that. Does the copy reduce the risk to the reader? Yeah, you have 30 days you make your deposit. You have 30 days to pull out before the trip leaves. Okay, before the departure. So, see, is the call to action asking for the sale clear and concise? Yep. So come down to the bottom right here. The price of $10,000 includes. To reserve your place in the expedition, just drop me a note on your letterhead or personal stationery with your deposit check for $2,500 made out to the United States. That's simple. Drop me a check. Does the copy summarize the offer towards the end? But first of all, you must decide about the trip. If you have a sense of adventure and a certain pioneering spirit, and if the prospect of taking part in a mission of worldwide significance and historical importance appeals to you, perhaps you should consider joining the expedition. It is doubtful that you will ever have another chance like this. So yeah, it kind of summarizes that. That's where it's summarizing. This is an expedition. You need to go for this, all inclusive. It's $10,000, all inclusive. The price of $10,000 includes food and beverages, all accommodations, the best available under all circumstances, transportation, special clothing, insurance side excursions, virtually everything except your travel to and from Boston, because that's where they're departing from. So, that's what everything they're getting. Is the price presented in a way that makes the offer seem too good to pass up? Yeah. I mean, it's $10,000 all inclusive, 15 countries, 26 days. Like, that is not a bad offer. That is, so opportunity of a lifetime. Does a copy move the reader away from the crossroads? Is it highlighted what the reader stands to gain by purchasing your product? Yes. A lifetime expedition surrounded in history, steeped in history. So, do you want to be remembered? Do you want to have an experience, or do you just want to be average? Is it highlighted what the reader stands to lose by not purchasing your product? Yeah, go on living your life. Stay in the same place. Don't meet new people. Don't go to new places. Don't share your experiences with other generals, like people who know a lot about the landscape. Like, just go on, just keep living your average, boring life. So that's what the sales letter does. So after breaking down the sales letter, it really bangs. This is a good sales letter. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because it was another old sales letter from the 60s, but yeah, that sales letter really slaps. It went hard, telling you about everything and all that stuff. And so yeah, that's good breakdown. Now it's time to read. So go ahead and read the sales letter, break it down for yourself, and then write your own sales letter. I'm going to do that as well. Everything is going to be in the description. Again, don't forget to join the Copywriting Hacks group, and then if you're Black, join the Black Copywriter Coalition. I'll put that in the description as well. But this is Kwaku. I love you all. Remember to seek the greatness within you. Peace.